Welcome to another edition of Wealth Without Borders podcast. And I'm delighted to have Jon Robertson with me today. Jon, how are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you, Howard, and yourself?
I'm also very well, thank you. And I always ask my guests where you're calling in from or filming in from and what the weather's like where you are.
Currently, I'm in Shanghai, and the weather outside is beautiful.
Oh, well, I am here too. So we're looking out at the same skyline. And I always say this, if we're in Shanghai, we should have just met physically, shouldn't we?
We should have, yes.
There you go. You're going to be talking about the joys and perils of IT. So I guess it's good that we're IT focused at the moment. And then Jon and I actually met in Shanghai, and Jon's one of the, I think, friendliest and also best connected people I probably know in Shanghai. So I'm very happy to have him here. And he's a seasoned professional, I think it's fair to say, with 17 years of working experience within sales and marketing. So he's an expert in those fields. And in that time, he's had numerous roles, and he was exposed to multicultural and diverse global working environments. And mostly in the last 9 years, I believe, working internationally. Is that right, Jon?
That's correct, Howard. That's right, yes.
Okay, fantastic. So the format of today is concise for busy people. I'm literally going to start a stop clock with 8 minutes for 8 questions. And I'll try my best, Jon, to give you the time before each question. I have to be fair. Sometimes I get wrapped up in the conversation and I forget, but I will do my best. So here we go. Question number 1. Who is your ideal client, Jon?
That's a funny one because normally I would have said a different type, but due to the virus and the way the world's actually changing, 4U systems are very unique in the way we offer full solutions, everything from the IT, AV, and security. So some of our biggest clients previously were like GlaxoSmithKline from pharmaceutical, Unilever, Stanford University, and of course WeWork. And now it's basically, we're looking at a bit more broader, a bit more diverse. So we've got the opportunity to look into international schools. This is where my grow. This is where my kind of heart is at the moment because of my 2 children that are actually in Shanghai. And I want to help as teachers as much as possible to actually have the online learning experience with great working internet. Okay. Just so the kids can actually keep the whole education flowing.
Yeah, that is a massive challenge, I know, around the world. 6 minutes, 56 remaining. Number 2, what's the problem you solve?
We basically localize international IT standards to solve most problems. So it can be from the very basics of internet connections, Wi-Fi keep dropping, all the way up to actual full office rebuilds, where we sit down with the consulting team through the whole design, installation, and maintenance. So we do the full package. As I said before, we are full solutions. So for us, at a very early stage of the project would be ideal for us, just so we can actually, one, get a feel for the actual customer and where they want to go in the future, because we will grow that relationship.
Okay. And I think actually we should have mentioned this at the beginning. We're going to call this podcast IT First Aid for You, and now we know why. 6 minutes to go, Jon. Question 3, what are the typical symptoms that people experience who have this problem?
It's basically, recently, the biggest problem I've came across, again, I was saying, is the internet, especially with international schools. Teachers are now obviously going back into the schools and still doing remote access to the kids that can't actually be here. So the biggest problem is with the schools is all the teachers are online at the same time. The system just crashes. It's never been tested properly, and this is throughout a lot of big international schools. So you could be on Zoom, Teams, and it starts freezing, and the kids just get bored very easily. You know, if you're not interactive with the teacher, they've gone.
Well, my wife is a teacher at an international school. I better not name which one. And there may or may not have been problems with the internet. Okay, 5 minutes, just over 5 minutes remaining. Question number 4, what are the common mistakes that people make when they're trying to solve the problem?
What we've kind of found, and personally, is a lot of business, the biggest mistakes is they want a quick fix or a patch job, rather than actually investigating why the system is running so badly, or if they have to invest money or just get an audit of the system. For us, it's ideal just to go in and just check out the whole system and say to them, yep, this is a good point, this is the bad point. You can keep using your own system here if you upgrade a small little part. For us, it's all about the relationship and saving the client money in the long run.
Fantastic. Okay, 4 minutes 30 left. What's one valuable free action that people checking out the show today could implement today that would help them solve at least part of that problem? Obviously not all of it, but what's one thing they could do, John?
Well, the best valuable free action that I can think of, being a cheeky Scotsman, would be, technically, it's not free, but only costs you a WeChat message to send me a message, and I will come and help you out.
Fantastic. Well, I kind of count WeChat as free. For those of you who don't know WeChat, it's a monster app in China. WhatsApp, Facebook, and Messenger and everything, FaceTime combined, as well as restaurant bookings. Anyway, only 3 minutes 45 left. Question number 6. What's one valuable free resource that you can direct people to that would also further help with that problem?
The best valuable free resource is always download a free internet speed checker, personally, on every device you've got. So if it's your laptop, your iPhone, your iPad, just to make sure it is the internet's the problem and not just one of your devices. So test on everything you've got. If it's Apple, Android, it doesn't matter. There's so many free ones online just to test.
Fantastic. And maybe we'll put a link or two to one of those if we can in the show notes. That would be great, John. Okay, 3 minutes to go. Question 7. And this can be a broad sense, doesn't necessarily have to be IT related, but it could be. What concept or book or program or talk has been the most impactful in your experience?
My personal concepts has always been about treating the customers with respect and loyalty. So if there was a book out there, it would have been initially when I was starting out many moons ago with computers, and it would be The Dummies. It's Computers for Dummies.
Right.
So a very simple book can give you breakdown of simple fixes that you can do at home. Yeah. So the dummy books, they have for everything from learning languages to computers to internet servers, everything. And nowadays, I think you can actually get them with a DVD.
Oh, fantastic!
And it's brilliant, honestly.
Yeah. Well, I again may or may not have been a dummy in the past. I refuse to.
Everybody starts somewhere.
Exactly. Okay, and just under 2 minutes, 1 minute 50 to go. Last question. What's the one question I should have asked you that I didn't, that would give great value to our audience, and what's the answer to that question?
Since we're doing a podcast, I can't share my QR code because nobody can physically see it.
No.
But one of the questions you should have asked would have been, do I enjoy IT?
Right.
And it's one of the biggest things. You know, a lot of people do careers and they do it for the simple fact is, one, they get a job. They get stuck in their career for so many years. As you said previously, I've done it for 17 years with marketing and sales. And I've always put it down to being like husband and wife. If they do not work together as a team, the team will not work together. And on the bottom end of that, you know, it's one of these other ones. If anybody ever does need help with anything, you know, I'm just a WeChat message away or a phone call, which my number is 156-1840-5795.
Thank you.
To be.
And again, we will, if you're okay with that, John, put your mobile number, because I know that's a great thing to offer people. I do that myself. We'll put your mobile number into the show notes if you're good with that.
That's fantastic. As I say, if somebody's got a problem, and I could be anywhere, as I say, my mobile's normally attached to my body somewhere. Right. If they've got a problem, I can pick up and hopefully speak them through the problem and get a solution. If not, we can arrange a sit down, come to our office or go to their place of work.
Great.
And just building the relationship.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that, John. And I really think it is important, everybody, to have a husband and wife relationship with our job, right? Love what we do if possible. Not everyone's in that privileged position, but it's certainly been a privilege to talk to you, John. And thank you so much.
Always a pleasure.
Thank you. Many thanks for checking out Wealth Without Borders podcast. I'd love you to head over to iTunes, subscribe, and leave us a review. And if you'd be kind enough to do that, I would really appreciate it. And then if you want to know more about what I do, check out wealthwithoutborders.net.